Wow. Thank you everyone for coming here today. The last couple of days have been tough. When my little buddy's gone, and we've had a lot of family and friends who've reached out to us and have helped us through the last couple of days. And I don't know that we could have gotten through it without them. We'll struggle with this for a long time, but tonight I want to talk about Cam in a way that we want to celebrate his life. For some of you who really don't know Cam that well, I don't have enough time to tell you all of the things that Cam did that made us laugh and made us cry. He lived life to the fullest. My little buddy did. He was a dynamic kid. I'll put into words as best I can to try to tell you about some of the stories, but it'll only be a little snapshot of what he was all about. He was born on June 6, 96. Said to Heather, gee, 96. What are we in for? We got it, trust me. He gave it to us and then some. We fought with the name. We didn't really fight. I knew what I wanted to call him. I was a big fan of Cam Neely. And she's like, Cameron. I was thinking Brad or a couple of other names. And then she said, well, Cameron. My grandmother's maiden name was Cameron. I said, yes! Cameron it is. And the interesting thing is, it was only years later, because I named him after Cam Neely, that I got a call from my brother, and he said, hey, you named him after Cam Neely. Was that because he was born on Cam Neely's birthday? I said, really? I said, no, I didn't know that. And from the time I could tell Cam and explain that to him, that I named him after Cam Neely, but not knowing he was born on that day, the same birthday, Cam Neely became Cam Ricard. You know? He was going to play hockey like Cam Neely. He was all about Cam Neely. And I'll let a few of his hockey coaches can come up and talk a little about Cam. That would be special. Cameron, I love you, man. First and foremost, he loved his family. Loved his dogs, Nicky and Benji. This kid played with these dogs nonstop, tackling them on the couch, jumping over the couch with them. Just, he was high energy. But you know, the dogs loved it. The last couple days, they've been looking for him. I know they miss him dearly. He loved spending his time at home. He was a 17-year-old kid. On a Friday night, he's home. I'm like, what's going on? Dad, I want to hang out. Let's watch a movie, put a fire, make a fire, Dad. He just loved his family, loved his house, loved being with us. Now, if I would have given him the green light to have the kids over for a knee hockey game, he would have been downstairs. But it goes without saying how much he loved his family. He loved his mother. He loved his sister. Just loved being around the house. The other thing he loved a lot were the holidays. He loved Halloween growing up. It was one of his favorite holidays. He loved it when I would dress up and go out with him. There's pictures of him in a little outfit when he was about 3 or 4, but I remember the first time I dressed up as a vampire. I came up from the basement, just bawling. It's like, "Why you wanted me to dress up?" He loved Halloween, though. From there on, loved to go out and collect candy. Loved Thanksgiving. Loved the fact that family was coming over. We always hosted Thanksgiving. He loved knowing his Auntie Sue coming over, his Grandma and Pop coming over. He loved it. Loved having the family around. But Christmas was his all-time favorite. And it was his favorite because his mother did a great job of making our house, just bringing the spirit of Christmas in our house. And one of the neat things we used to do was the Advent calendar, and it was an Advent calendar we got from L.L. Bean that you could open the door and we would put a little note in there. Man, he couldn't wait for us to put that calendar up. We'd get that calendar up, and you know, sometimes it would be the last day of November. He'd be like, "Where's the calendar? 1st of December is coming tomorrow." we'd get the calendar up, and it was so much fun. We'd have a little note in there and a prize hidden, and we'd go through the routine. You know, he'd be looking for it. Warmer, buddy. You're getting a little warmer. And he loved that. He loved Christmas. As soon as we broke out, all of the decorations, the first thing he'd say to his mother is, "Where's my Christmas tree? I want to put the Christmas tree by my bed." He was just that way. He loved the Christmas music we played. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, I bought this tape, and it was Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Pointer Sisters. I don't know if you remember that. It starts in like, I can't sing it, but I'll tell you, it starts in very slowly. And when you hear that song, he would start running around the house, running down the hallway, running back and forth. What are you easy? Jumping over the couch. It was just excitement. It was Christmas, and he loved that song. It was like, this is the start of my favorite holiday. To see him run around like that, we'll miss that dearly. Cameron also would love to just hang out around the house in the yard. We had 4 acres. He loved to ride his bikes around the yard. Early on, when we bought him a bike, he was actually going back to when he was younger. He used to watch dirt bikes on TV, and he'd always, I was amazed. He was just locked in on these dirt bikes. That's really good. You know, you'd see him watching. I said, you know what, Heather? Let's buy him a little toy dirt bike. So he's 3 years old. Buy him a little toy dirt bike. For the next weeks and weeks and weeks, he was riding that dirt bike around the coffee table, around the couch, making the noise. In the meantime, he'd have it on TV too, and he just imagined he was driving this dirt bike. I said, geez, you know, it's been a couple of months now. He hasn't put that thing down. It's really weird, you know. He really was locked in. Fast forward, he's old enough to ride a bike. He said, Dad, I got to get motocross boots for these bikes. Motocross boots for these bikes. Yeah, Dad, because I'm going to build jumps, and I'm thinking, all right, whatever, you know. Uncle Ron buys him some motocross boots. It's these motocross boots, and one day I look out. He's gone out with a shovel, and he's built these jumps, and he just started learning to ride the bike 6 months before. He's going over these jumps. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck? And he's landing the bike. That's, you know, it's kind of more amazing that he could build the jump, land the bike, without even really 5, 6 years old. I said, wow, this kid is locked in. And that was a legacy of his that we would learn about later in life. He was all about building jumps. Mm-hmm. He used to build a snowboard park in our yard when the winter would start, and he loved it when that snow started falling. He would build this snowboard park. I have a shed at the top of the hill if you come up my driveway. He would build a 6-foot pile of snow that he would put my ladder against so he could climb up, and that would be the starting ramp. And he'd take his snowboard, go down that, and then down the hill where he made 2 more 4 to 6 foot jumps. Must have moved a ton of snow. Yet I couldn't get him to clean my front steps. Priorities. I said, now that you've built a 6-foot jump in front of the doors to my shed, how am I getting in my shed? Get in the spring, Dad. It was great. I mean, he loved the air. He loved to spend time with his friends in that little snowboard park. The other thing he loved dearly around our home was several years ago, probably 8, 10 years ago, as everyone knows, he was a hockey player. So I had someone come in and flatten out a piece of land so we could build an ice rink. And we built this ice rink every year. And it was just big enough for him to shoot the puck, to skate around. Man, did he love that. He took care of it, he cleaned it off, we re-watered it. The passion for this ice rink was just amazing. And then later on, the last few years, he would have his friends over, the music blaring, the raps going, the kids got the fire going. And you know what? It was so cool to see them out there playing. Mm-hmm. It was like me when I was a kid. It were great memories. I was fortunate to coach Cameron in his baseball career. I started him in rookie league, and I coached him up through Cal Ripken. He probably wasn't too excited about the fact that I was the coach, but we had a great time. We made a lot of friends. It was a group of kids that will live with me forever. We had a group that made the all-star team, and we would go to tournaments, and those were some of the funnest times that we had. And Cameron enjoyed those dearly. He broke my heart when he told me he didn't want to play in high school because the game was just too slow for him. That was Cameron. Well, hockey filled that void. Cam started playing hockey at age 8, the encouragement of his friend Travis Howard. He never looked back. He loved the sport, he excelled at it, and he went one speed, 120 miles an hour. He played in the Halls Cavaliers system, played with the Cyclones, loved to go to the tournaments, just loved to hang with the guys at the rink. I'm sure the coaches will tell you he was one of the last kids to get off the rink. And I lived vicariously through him, watching him play. There wasn't a sport I enjoyed more than hockey, watching my son play. He played with such energy and desire, and I love it, and those memories I'll have with me for a lifetime. Got cut a little short. He was coming home, as people know, from practice. How ironic, doing what he loved. But he was great, and he brought a lot of great memories to me from hockey. This past year, he joined the New England Stars Junior A program. For those of you who may not be hockey people, the juniors is the next step up from high school if you're trying to go to the next level, and he was so proud to be with those guys and playing with those guys. And I was so proud of him to watch him play. And even though we didn't make it through the full season, those games he played in, they'll be memories for me for a lifetime. I loved watching him play hockey. He fought with this being his last year in high school, and it tore him apart. And it's no secret, I talked to both coaches. Even though he made the decision to move up a level in juniors, this is so Cameron. He said to me, "Dad, the guys are talking to me at school. They want me to play on the high school team. I don't know what to do." I said, "Well, maybe we can play both." I don't think high school will let you do it, and I don't think the juniors will, but maybe we can figure something out. Think so? I said, "Let me make some phone calls." And we knew it wasn't going to work, but you know what? He couldn't let that go till the day he left us. He was torn with that. And, that was just Cam. It was more about he wanted to do both. He wanted to play with everyone. He wanted to be on the rink with all his buddies. Oh, his other passion, and it was a tremendous passion, was dirt bike riding, motocross racing. And it goes back to age 3. I told you about the little dirt bike, and I said to Heather, boy, he just won't let that thing go down. Then we went to the bike. Then I bought him a 70. And as I tell Brian LeClaire, who's a good friend of mine, whose son David rides with us, I said, he got more miles and hours out of that 70 than any kid who's ever bought a Honda 70. I know it. And the fact that he got $1 for it when he sold it was amazing. He ran that thing so hard. Then he graduated to a 150R. And I got to tell you this story. So he says, "Dad, I'm ready for a 150R. I says, "You ready for a 150R? He goes, "Yeah." He says, "Let's go to Best Ford and look." For the heck of it, I'll take you over to Best Ford. I had no plans on buying a 150R just yet, but we went over there, and I'm looking at all the 150Rs. Their prices is way out of where I was looking to buy. And he knew. He said, "Wow, Dad, $3,500 they want for a Brit? Wow." "Yeah, I don't think it's going to work, buddy." "Dad, all right, I understand." So I'm talking to the salesman. If you get any used bikes in, let me know. We're looking for a 150. It's got to be a 150R. He says, "Okay." "Cameron, I'm looking around. Where's Cameron?" Cameron is gone out the doors into the service area, and here comes Cameron through the door. His dad, come here. What? There's a 2008 150R over here. Really? Salesman goes, oh yeah, that's right, we do have one over there. It's a holdover. Well, let's go see. So we talk. Cameron's just beaming. It's his. He's a, oh, come on, Dad. I negotiate price, we go back and forth, we agree upon a price. The salesman goes to write it up. Cameron's smiling ear to ear. The salesman comes back, gives Cameron the sold sign. Folks, you ever want to see a kid so happy in life? This kid put that sold sign on that bike, and he was just smiling ear to ear. The salesman took my credit card, I took the down payment, processing it. I'm waiting in the waiting room. Cam is sitting by the bike, just eyeballing the bike. Comes in 5 minutes and goes, hey, Dad, there's a big hole in the muffler under that bike. I said, really? The salesman didn't mention anything about a hole in the muffler. I wonder why I got such a good price on that bike. The salesman comes back. Okay, you're all set to go. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, my son was looking over the bike and there's a hole under the muffler. He said, yeah, geez, I didn't see that. I said, well, you're going to put a new muffler on for me. He said, yeah. Cam whispers in my ear, tell him an FMF fatty. FMF fatty. How about an FMF fatty? Yeah, we can do that. Great. Out we go. He is just in seventh heaven. He's going to be driving this bike with an FMF fatty. All right, great. I get a call a few hours later. Mr. Ricard, this is Bob down at Best Ford. Had a little problem. Yeah, what's up, Bob? Can't sell it to you for that price. Going to have to charge you $500 more. Are you kidding me? That's over my budget already. I can't do that. Cameron has his snack. He can be 3 rooms over. If he thinks that conversation or picks up on one word has to do with him, he comes flying over. What's wrong, Dad? What's wrong? Are they not going to sell us the bike? I said, Kim, let me talk to the guy. So, talked to the guy. I said, you know, that's just not right. You gave me your word. So I hung up the phone. He's crying. Oh, man. Next day, I called the manager, had a conversation, gave him the guilt trip, and said, you got a kid, likes to ride? Oh, he loves to ride. So doesn't my kid. He put the sold sign on the bike. He came out of there smiling ear to ear, only to find out you guys wanted to charge us $500 more. I'll split the price with you. Fine. Done deal. We owned a 150. Cam was thrilled. I got to tell you, it was a cool little story, and he just loved that bike. And he went on to ride from that bike right into the ground. We used to go up to Hockley, the Everett Reservoir, and he was so infatuated with it, he would watch videos every night of dirt bike riding. And it was amazing how good he was getting from what I could see. Then lo and behold, our neighbors, new neighbors by the house across the street that happens to have a dirt bike track. That Cam really never had permission to ride at because he didn't know the people. And now this gentleman, Jeremy, young guy, Jeremy, moves in and says, hey, Cam, come on over and ride on my dirt bike track. So Cameron was over there nonstop. Well, fast forward, this past year, I buy him a 125 because he tells me now he wants to race. And he has got this passion to race. And I got to tell you something. I'll finish this up. I know I'm going on and on, but this is just Cameron. And it goes back to when he was 3 years old with this dirt bike. He had this desire and this innate ability to ride a dirt bike. The first time I went to the 101 MX track off of near the New England Dragway, which is a professional racetrack, and I watched him ride and fly over those jumps, and I didn't know whether to go, wow, that's great, or, oh, shit, I'm in trouble, you know? And it was amazing to see him ride. And he rode and rode, and then I had friends come and watch him ride, and they said, that kid is a natural. And the neat thing was, he wanted to race and he wanted to go on the professional circuit. And I said this year I would enter him into racing. We were going to enter, and he was just so gun-ho to do that. And unfortunately, that got cut short. But I got to tell you, that was a tremendous passion, and he was very, very good at dirt bike racing. One last part of Cameron's life that I want to share with you is we had a cottage, Lake Canasaka, up in Molten Borough. And we had so many great memories, and we will for a lifetime up there. And we had a family move in shortly after we bought Neighbor, as it was two retired folks, and I got young kids making all kinds of noise. And I got to tell you, when we bought the place, Cameron was 2 years old. And Cameron was a runner. Yep. So the moment we got to the camp, it was waterfront, I had to put a life jacket on him. But I never relaxed, because I was always asking, where is he? Where is he? He was running around the house. I didn't know where he was. So I got to tell you, until he was 5 or 6 years old, I really didn't enjoy the place, because I was always worrying about him. But when he turned about, I think it was, may have turned 6 years old, 7 years old, we had some neighbors move in, the Miltners next door, and they had two boys, Ryan and AJ. And it was just great. Our two families melted into one. And the hours that those kids spent out on the lake, whether it be just snorkeling, swimming, or AJ, who was the older of the two boys, when he was old enough and he had a 16-foot aluminum boat, he'd pull the kids on a boogie board. They'd improvise something, but they were going nonstop. And those guys had so much fun. And again, thank God I had that place, and thank God we had those memories. And there were some great, great times. And I just wanted to share that with you, because he loved hanging out at the lake with his buddies. In fact, it's funny, the last couple of years, the Miltners had moved and sold the place, and so he would bring friends over. Some of the crazy things he'd do, he would, 2 years ago, he says to me, hey, Dad, you know those spaghetti noodles? Do you really want those? I go, no, we never use those. He cuts them up into about 20 pieces, duct tapes them to his bike, puts a ramp at the end of the dock, and goes flying off into the lake. I go, Heather, is that Cam down at the dock? It's all about ear, just getting more ear, It was funny. Well, I could go on and tell you a lot of different stories about it. I mean, he also liked the 4th of July boat parade that we had every year. It was a boat parade where we would go around the lake and everyone would squirt everyone with water guns, and just, it was a great time. And then I remember one year, Cam and his buddies filled up a bucket of water babies, unbeknownst to me. And Cameron at that time was about 12 or 13. He can chuck the ball pretty well. And we're riding along. The boats are about 15, 20 feet apart, just putting along at headway speed. Cameron takes, these guys are squirting us. All of a sudden, I hear, ah! Cameron has turned around and nailed this person right in the head with the water baby. I go, Cam, really? Come on. What, Dad? No water babies, bud. Well, and again, there's a lot of great stories, but I want some other people to really come up. Again, it's a celebration of his life, and I'm going to cry for many years. This guy was my best buddy, and I can't tell you how much he meant to me, and how much we did things together. He didn't mind hanging with his dad. In fact, he often would tell me, "Come on, Dad, come out and shoot pucks with me." "No, I'm tired." "Come on, Dad, come out and shoot pucks." So I'd go out and shoot pucks. "Come on, Dad, let's play videos." "No, I don't want to play video. I can't play video." "That's okay, just play with me." And we did a lot of things together. We rode, and of course this past year, and I don't know if people know this, but I knew he had this passion for dirt bike riding, and I said, geez, he's getting older, and there's not too many things we can do. I turned to my buddy Brian LeClaire, and I said, you know what? We got to buy a dirt bike and go to the track with him. He goes, yeah, that sounds good. I said, motocross bike. We got to buy a motocross bike. So I said, let me call around. I'll shop a couple motocross bikes. I pick out these two. Next thing you know, Mr. LeClaire buys. He's down there putting a down payment on it. I'm thinking he's going to talk me out of it. We actually bought 2 motocross bikes, and I went riding this year with him just to be with him, because I loved him so much. And I just thought, please, Lord, don't have any of these kids come over the top and hit me in the head with the bike. I mean, we're going over jumps. We're going like this, and the kids are flying right over, and I'm watching them just sail by me. Cam says, Dad, whatever you do, just stay in your line and you'll be fine. They won't hit you. All right, Cam. Well, in conclusion, I just wanted everyone to know Cameron was an exciting, outgoing kid who had such passion for life and true dedication. When he wanted to do something that he liked, he did it better than most. He loved his family more than anything, loved being home with his dogs, loved to hug his mom. I said, geez, he hugs you so much. He is a kid at heart. You know what, he didn't hug you enough, I guess. Heather's so grateful for all those hugs. And we're so thankful that we had a 17-year-old kid who was so loving and so affectionate with his family and his dogs, and we'll hold on to those moments and treasure them for the rest of our lives. We'll take Cam's passion for life and carry that special feeling forward. Buddy, you love the rush of flying through the air, whether it was on your dirt bike, your BMX bike, your wakeboard, or your snowboard. Now you can fly through the air as often as you want, and we will often look to the sky to see if you're flying by. Please come visit us often. We loved you so much. Thanks for all the exciting and fun memories. We love you, pal. Thank you. I didn't mean to lose it at the end, but he was my best buddy.